So the big difference with the roster construction for CFL versus DraftKings is the first thing you'll notice is one running back mandatory versus the two in the NFL. But you can still get three running backs in the NFL like you can with the two flex options. Because it's a more pass happy league, two receivers, two flexes, you're typically going to roll out a running back plus three receivers. Four receivers, sorry. But there's no right answer. It's like baseball in the sense of there's lots of paths to victory. It's just going to come down to how you want to do your roster construction. And then don't forget about your Brandon Banks, the guys that return kicks and also are involved offensively to get the double points from the position and the defense special teams. So I haven't signed up for any contests yet on DraftKings, so I will go ahead and do that. I want to show you guys exactly what I do, and I'll show you a little trick also so that you can get more volume quicker. So we'll go to the lobby. Real professional over here, huh? So they just added contests for Thursday. They'll probably add additional slates once this slate kicks off, but because they open up different days, they don't have to get everything in. Like what you'll see with actually you do see it similar to NFL where they'll open up a couple contests and then as the week progresses, they'll open up all the secondary slates. So whenever I'm putting in a dummy lineup, I just go to the bottom, just get whatever. I don't really care. Click enter. And then we'll go to our bulk entry page. And in my bankroll plan, I am on the 100 buy-in plan from the bankroll plan that I put together for you guys. And what I'll do is I'll copy in 20, and I'm playing everything up to the $5 level. So I'll play this one, the $3. This is a double up, so I'm not going to play it. This is above my buy-in, the $8, so I'm not going to play it. But I will play the $12 single entry. I'll also check to see if there's any winner-take-all contest. There isn't. It doesn't look like we have any satellites here either. So that's all I will sign up for here. And then I do have some satellite tickets into the $8 contest that I'm not playing because it's above my bankroll. But again, we just finished up our series last week on satellite tickets as being how you go about taking your shot. So what we'll do is go back to the lobby. And you can go to your tickets to see how many tickets you have for the event and then just enter them in on the mobile app. Or you can go to this home screen here and click on enter with ticket. And then it's going to bring up any contest that I qualify for to use a ticket. So if you're not sure how many tickets you have, it'll say right here, free with a ticket, free with a ticket, free with a ticket. And then when it changes from free with a ticket to $8, that's when you ran out of tickets to use for the contest. So I have, as of today, well, I'm getting absolutely killed in baseball tonight. This might be my worst baseball night of the year. I'm staring a four-figure loss in the face right now. So this might be the most tickets that I suppose I could win some tickets on Wednesday night, but this might look like the max tickets that I'm going to get. So now that we've got all of our entries in, what we want to do is put in some more dummy lineups, because what this is going to allow us to do is put in 20 dummy lineups so that on the mobile app, whenever a new contest opens, with one click of the button to open the contest and another click of the button to join a contest, we can add more contests. It takes 2 seconds. So what I'll typically do is sort from A to Z. Oops, didn't work. Sorry about that. Sort from A to Z. And I'll show you guys a little trick. So if you highlight from this section right here all the way down to number 27, that's going to give you 19 to go with your 20th lineup. Hit save, hit upload. And now when you go to the mobile app, you'll have 20 lineups just with a couple clicks of the button to be able to add all the volume that you want to get. So that's how I'll go about signing up for my contest, and we'll take a look at the Fantasy Cruncher. So Fantasy Cruncher is still loading some stuff up, so they'll have this ready to go by Thursday. But the first thing that we want to take a look at is the advanced options. So I'm going to be rolling with 3 unique to start. So this is the first way that you can get some stacks or some exposures or a minimum or maximum. So let's say that, we talked about, we know that the Lions are probably going to be the most owned team this week. So let's say we're going to be pivoting and stacking the Eskimos, but we want at least 1 Lion in our lineup. Or let's say we want at least 2, or 1 Lion and 1 Blue Bomber. So we have some exposure to the late game. That's how you would go about doing that. So that's one thing that you can do. One of the things that you can do to get some diversification with your lineup is how many offensive players versus defenses will you allow. So let's say you're on the Calgary defense, but you want to be able to have at least 1 red-black, then you would click 1 for that. Again, there's no right answers. It just comes down to a matter of what your preference is. Same thing with salary. You can adjust this if you want to, hey, I want to be different. Some people are going to be maxing out their salary, so I want a max of $49.50, or maybe you don't want any max and you're okay with a salary at $47,000 or whatever, which is a sneaky thing to do on some of these smaller slates for football. Position stacks. So this is the second area that you're going to be able to stack. So create new stacking rule. We have our quarterback with at least 1 player, and we can just do running back, wide receiver from the same team. You click add. If you want to do like a game stack, you can click opposing team, or you could just go, I want 3 players from the same game. I don't care what team they're coming from. Dave and his team at Fantasy Cruncher built a really, really impressive product. The third thing that I'm going to show you guys is how to do game stacks. So what we'll do is we'll remove, so let's say we wanted to stack the last game of the slate. And let's say we only want to have guys, so this is, you can filter this out. So let's say we want to filter out anybody below, let's just say 6 points. So it's going to kick out everybody that has 6 points. And because you can't stack both of the quarterbacks, and we don't really care about the defense, we're going to unselect the defenses because we want to focus on the offensive players. And let's say the first group we're going to create is a Mike Riley group. So you click that, add selected to your group, create new group. And the first thing I always do is I label, and I'll do team name and then the quarterback's name. And then I'll immediately click save. If you forget to click save, and this happened to me like 3 times during NFL season, I'm up until like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, working on my stacks, my groups, and I wake up the next morning and I lost them because I didn't click the save button. So always click the save button, and then you click the lock button on Mike Riley. So we're telling the computer, whenever we have Mike Riley in our lineup, Mike Riley's going to be with at least one of these guys here. And let's say we want a full-on game stack. So we want Mike Riley plus 3 other guys. So we've got our Mike Riley game stack, but let's say we want to build some Matt Nichols, who's a quarterback for the Blue Bombers. We'll just do the same thing. So we'll do Blue Bombers, Matt Nichols, save, again, always important, lock Nichols, and let's say we want to do 3 with Nichols also. So then we'll go back and we'll select all of our teams, and we've built in our parameters of what we want to do, and we'll lock Mike Riley, And let's say we're going to run 20 lineups for the 20 max. So we're going to run 20 Mike Rileys. And there you go. You're going to have Mike Riley stacked with 3 players from the game. So we've got a nice combo of Riley with the Blue Bombers coming back. We have Riley with his running back, Riley with the receiver, Riley with running back and a receiver, Riley with 2 receivers. So you're going to get a lot of different combos of stacking this game up. You're going to see Riley with 3 of his opponents because Riley's salary is so expensive. Look at Riley's salary costs more than any NFL quarterback. Like, that's higher than Mahomes got all year. But that's the nature of the supply and demand. So let's go to Nichols, and we'll just do the same thing. And then look at what we get from a salary perspective with Nichols. He's $3,000 cheaper, so you're going to see some higher priced guys to go with him because of his. I'm not telling you guys anything that you don't know. But yeah, you'll see guys like Eric Rodgers. This guy was a fantasy darling a couple years ago in the 49ers camp. There's some really good players in this league. But that's how you can go about roster construction. So let's say that we don't like game stacking. So what you would do is you just go disable all groups. You've turned off your groups, and let's say you're not happy with what you were getting from your Mike Riley stacks. You want to see Mike Riley with more of his teammates. So at that point, you'll just do Mike Riley with at least 2 players, a running back or wide receiver from his team, and we'll go back to Riley, and we'll lock him, and we'll run 20 lineups, and now we're going to get Mike Riley with at least 2 teammates in every lineup. So that's just kind of the crash course of, hey, you don't need to know a lot about, I don't know very many baseball players, but I can still build winning DFS lineups because I know how to play the game and create leverage, and the CFL is no different. So we talked about a handful of guys. If you need to go back to the player comps and see where you're going to be able to get some leverage or who's going to be low owned. So I can already tell you that the chalk quarterbacks this week are going to be Riley with the Lions. You're going to have Lawrence with the Eskimos, and then Masulli with the Tiger Cats. Anywhere else you go for a quarterback, you're going to get at pretty low ownership. So if you're looking for a way to leverage the field, you might be looking at getting your quarterback exposure elsewhere and then getting pieces of these games with any of the advanced options that we talked about. So I just want to keep it kind of brief just because we went a little bit long on a section like this. But let me see if I can create a rule. So check this out. This is kind of sneaky. I just thought of this. So another thing that we can do is we can that's weird. Let me turn the filter off. Okay. That's weird. There he is. Okay, so let's say that we wanted to create a Brandon Banks group. So let's create a new group. And this is the Tyreek Hill receiver. So Brandon Banks must be used at least with, boom. So this gives you the option of anytime Brandon Banks is in your lineup, you're automatically stacking him with the Tiger Cats defense. So anytime you want to see if this worked, again, we saved. You just go and we'll just lock Banks. We'll go back to our pool and let's lock Mike Riley again and we'll run. So what we should be getting is Mike Riley stacked with 2 teammates with Banks stacked with the Tiger Cats defense if we did this correctly. Now, I don't know how the salaries are going to work, but let's just try it. Boom, there it is. Riley, 2 opponents, Brandon Banks stacked with the Tiger Cats. This is what I love about DFS. The tools that Dave and his team have created just allow you to be just a wizard at lineup construction and game theory. Just a couple of things, everything we just did took a couple of seconds. So I encourage you guys to play around with it. If you run into anything where you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. We're going to pass on the mailbag this week just because I went a little long on a couple of these sections. I know we've gone 5 and 6 part series, but we're just going to go on a 4-part series in this week's episode. And I just highly encourage you guys to play this game. It is so much fun. I really enjoy CFL, especially in the dog days of summer. For some of you guys that aren't loving baseball, this is perfect to, quench your football thirst until the season rolls around. So thank you from your boy, Mike Driley. Twitter, DMs are always open. The coachings are available. They're 100% complimentary Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. If you can email me alldayjg@yahoo.com. Again, get the primer Google sheet. Thank you to John Dent for hooking that up for us. If we win money this week, it's because of what John created for us. Mailbag will be back next week, but if you run into any questions this week with CFL, please hit me up and enjoy. Thank you so much for you guys. I know we had a couple 15-minute segments here, but we have a lot of ground to cover, and hopefully I did a good enough job to where you guys are pumped up and feeling dangerous about how to play this game. Thank you guys again. God bless. I'll see you guys next week.